Hey everyone! So, I've been playing the new Pokemon Legends ZA game for a few hours. I literally played it on the day that it was released. So, yeah, I got to have those first impressions of the game, if you will. Hence the title of this video. Obviously, I know that a few hours is absolutely nothing in, Pokemon games, so yeah. I can't mention too much about it and too much about what my overall feelings on this game are. So I'm going to be spending the next few couple of days, spending even more hours in this game so then I can make a more, better review on how I feel about it. But in the meantime, here's how I currently view about this game. So, I think they've done a good job of explaining the new mechanics to you. Obviously, they've also done a good job of explaining it to new players too. Like, everything is super easy to grasp at the very beginning of the game. And obviously, you can take your time learning it and stuff like that. The only thing that I obviously dislike is the fact that it kind of forces you to do a bunch of stuff before you're allowed some semblance of freedom. Now, I don't know whether or not that's a good thing or a bad thing. I understand that if you're a new player to the series, obviously some hand holding will be nice. But a lot of us have been playing Pokemon for a very long time now, so I still don't understand why they don't know this. Anyway, enough about rambling about that. Let's talk about how I think about the mechanics in general. So, in my original video about me talking about Pokemon Legends ZA, I said I was a bit unsure about the new mechanic, the new battling mechanic. But now that I've actually played the game and gotten to experience how that's like, I don't actually mind the new mechanic in the slightest. The only thing that I will say though is that you better be careful now because all of your moves have this cooldown, right? So you can't just, spam them and hope to win. You have to actually plan out ahead and, maybe position your Pokemon around so you can try to avoid attacks and stuff like that. It's a lot more competitive, I suppose, or maybe it's more management based. Yeah, let's go for that. It's more management based. Also, from what I can tell, your Pokemon can use those moves pretty much infinitely, right? There doesn't seem to be a power point. No, sorry. I'll just say PP. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be a PP usage anymore from what I can currently tell. So you can use those moves as many times as you like after the cooldown, of course. So that is an interesting change. Also, another thing I was wondering about was how, accuracy was going to affect things. And from what I can tell, most of the time the attack does hit, right? Especially moves that are designed to never miss, right? But other ones do have a chance to miss, so do keep that in mind. It's less likely to miss if you're close to your opponent, so getting close is, a good and risky move. Risk versus reward, if you will. So yeah, it kind of depends on what your play style is. I think I'm one of the aggressive type of players. Like, I often find myself just giving my Pokemon a bunch of attacking moves and no reduction moves. So that's just the type of player that I am in this game. But who knows? Maybe this game will change how I battle, or maybe it won't. Anyway, what else? So, since I'm playing this game on the Switch One, obviously I will be experiencing some issues with the graphics and also the lag, right? But when has Pokemon really had good graphics? I hardly think they ever had some, so I'm not gonna talk too much about it. But at the moment, I haven't been suffering too much with the game, right? It seems to be handling everything perfectly fine. Obviously, I can hear my Switch heating up, which is not good, but that's just how it is. But yeah, no problems with that. But me being a save freak, I just like to make sure that nothing bad will happen. Also, there's something that I wanted to mention real quick in this rambly video of mine, and that is the possibility that you may not be able to transfer your Pokemon out of this game once you put them in there. Now, I want to clarify that I heard this information from a YouTube short, so I don't know how much of it is true. But if it is true that you can't transfer your Pokemon out of this game after putting them in, then I highly recommend only transferring the Pokemon you don't mind losing, right? But again, I don't know if this information is true or false. I haven't seen it on the official website, I haven't seen it in any of the trailers, so I have no idea where they got this information from. But again, just keep that in mind. But enough about the weird transfer situation. What else do I like about this game? Well, I like the fact that it tells you what your level cap is, like immediately, so you know not to go over that limit. I still haven't exactly figured out what causes your level cap to go up, but from what I can tell, it appears to be the, mechanic where you beat other trainers until, you rank up, if you will. So, those is the new gym leaders. I'm not exactly sure how to feel about that. I still prefer the gym leader format because at least I know, what to expect and where to go or something like that. But I suppose considering that you're not allowed to leave the city in the slightest, they kind of had to make a compromise, and this was the compromise that they came up with. But I'll say it again, I'm not really exactly sure if I like this whole, more competitive kind of thing. I kind of like to play Pokemon in two halves, right? One half spending catching Pokemon and the other half occasionally battling trainers. And I suppose they did try to balance this out in the game itself, as there is a bunch of wild areas for you to go into and catch Pokemon and stuff like that. But still, there is a lot of battling in this game, like a lot more than I'm used to, and I'm definitely not sure how to feel about that. But that's just my opinion on it, obviously. Everyone has the right to their own opinions. Anyway, I think I have gone on long enough rambling on about this game and my first impressions of it. I'll be spending the next few days continually to play this. Sorry, I'll reword that. I'll be spending the next few days playing this game, obviously, right? Getting more hours in, so I've got a better opinion on it. So, forgive me if the uploads come to an absolute crawl, but that's just how it is. Anyway, thank you for listening to me ramble on for who knows how long, and I'll see you next time.